am your Cosmic Rootwork Astrologer, checking in for those of y'all that are coming in for the first time. A rainy storm, aka Crew, also known as Crew. I specialize in I'm like, damn, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get my little shaving being together. Because I done flipped up the script. You know, I was like on a Mars activation tip. Now I'm, you know, full-blown evolutionary astrology and karmic astrology. So you can definitely find me on all social media at A Rainy Storm. And if you are looking for me on the medias, as well as my website for personal readings, for events, and also for courses, you can find me at arainystorm.wix.com or linktree/arainystorm, and all my information is in the description box below. So definitely give me a shout out and give me a holla if you know. Okay. We're going to be getting into the Scorpio moon to end this week out. And then we'll be getting into the rest: Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces next week. So y'all could definitely check that out and look for that. I will be also doing more courses about evolutionary astrology and things, and just when it comes to like life path stuff, soul growth in astrology, you could definitely gonna be seeing more classes that cater to those things. So make sure y'all definitely check out the rainystorm.wix.com/info/courses, or like I said, you can go to that link tree below, and then all the information will be available there. So let's just hop right into it, right? Scorpio moons. First of all, bless to my Scorpio moons out there, because I know it is not an easy path to navigate the Scorpio moon sector, but it's definitely a powerful one, to say the least. So when it comes to just your ancestry in general, what that looks like, and some of the things that you definitely could have experienced, we just gonna go ahead and put it on the table. A lot of deaths, a lot of like, you know, you probably had ancestry or ancestors that experienced a lot of like wars in their past, or just people passing around them, or like you could have even dealt with, you know, ancestry that had like maybe something sweep the, you know, village, and a lot of people died because of it, you know, just going through very dark, traumatic events. A lot of, if it wasn't like verbal violence or psychological violence, it could have been a lot of physical violence going on. Sexual abuse could have been something that happened throughout the family here, or just some type of emotional, just a lot of emotional betrayals in many different ways. And it just something that has been so deeply bonded to your ancestry that could have even followed you, even basically could have followed you into this life. It doesn't have to be all these themes, but these are just some things that have could have sparked up, you know, while you're you know, this particular lifetime that you're seeing. But just some of the things, like I said, that your ancestors and things could have definitely dealt with. Definitely just connection to like Passover energy, Passover spirits, people who have died and gone away. Like you have ancestors who were very connected to the unseen realms and were able to connect with people who have passed over. A lot of times I think of like voices in the head, of like having to separate your mind of like what's really yours and what's really other people's. And that's something I'll get into when we talk about just the alchemy of this energy. But that's definitely something I would say that your ancestors could have definitely experienced coming up in their lives and things that they've lived. Also, when we talk about the occult, and just interests that most people would never really dive into, these were like the ancestors that was like, no, I want to know more about what this is. I want to know more about what's going on here, what happened there, you know, what this looked like here, you know, and really, really diving into that, you know, specifically, like I said, the occult, and this is many different practices. It doesn't necessarily just have to be like the unseen realms and the unseen worlds. This can go a lot deeper than just seeing the unseen and what that looks like and what that is. Like, really being in a space of opening like Pandora's box to things, and maybe even dabbling into some things that they weren't always necessarily ready to dabble into. So it could have opened up a Pandora's box that maybe they weren't able to particularly handle. There's a lot of psychological, because even though Scorpio is definitely water, fixed water energy, there's a lot of psychological energy that goes into the sign of Scorpio, and just it being over your emotions and just holding so much in. This energy with your ancestry, it could have been in some instances very dark, especially like I said, going through these traumatic events in life. And so it did a lot to the psychological mind. And so they maybe went through bouts of like depression and just being in very dark spaces, and like really being at the, like really going into an energy of just being maybe like at the bottom of the bottom. Like they've seen the bottom of things, like really like the lower barrel of things, and having to be in a space where either they could have let that energy really pull them under, or they had to really find a way to like alchemize that energy to come out of it, so they could tell the tale of like, yeah, I've been through this, I've seen this, I've watched this happen, but here I am now standing in front of you and able to really not only tell my story, but be kind of sort of a bit a messenger in some of the experiences, and knowing how to handle those things, especially just even thinking of Scorpio moon and just doing like energy work, whether that was like sexual energy, like understanding and harnessing what that looks like, or harnessing what that is, specifically using their sexual energy for um, very powerful magical properties, I would say. Even using it for to gain certain things in their lives and stuff like that, because Scorpio naturally pulls things to it. So ancestries that could have even been involved, you know, for example, maybe prostitution, or you know, being in a place where maybe they had some like hidden um maybe some hidden secrecy things, like maybe being a spy, or maybe you know, just had some undercover jobs or undercover missions, like a mercenary or something like that, or just being involved in, you know, illegal activities and things like that, that they had to like keep hidden and keep secret. You know what I mean? Those are definitely things that could have definitely, you know, just play out with this energy here. Could have been definitely through not only traumatic things, but just like disastrous. You know, because when I think of Scorpio moon, because like we're talking about the emotions and just being in a place where everything is like really held in, and also on top of that, not only is it ruled by Pluto, but it's ruled by Mars. You know, I think of the weather, you know, I think of Cancer being the weather a lot of times, but I mean, I guess all water signs, but so particularly with Scorpio, of just being this energy of um, being in a place where their not only emotional state affects the things that are going on around them, but just their own environment. And so there could have been like disastrous weather things that could have happened, particularly that could have wiped a lot of and cleared a lot of things out, like floods or hurricanes, or just, you know, anything that had to do with not only disease, but also the weather, you know, and things like that. Heavy on the disease though too, like different diseases or things that could have came out that could have just wiped complete cities and things, or complete villages and stuff like that out from people just getting sick, or just experiencing a lot of traumatic events that got people very sick here too. Now, when I talk about the Scorpio moon, as I keep continuing to go, I don't want y'all to think that this is all doom and gloom. It's just knowing that you had an ancestry that's been through so much, and having to learn through those experiences. And we'll talk about that when we just talk about alchemy in general. Um, could have also lived lives, especially with the Scorpio moon energy here, that they spend a lot of time alone, a lot of time in spaces or places where they might have had a lot of time to themselves, lived on the outside the walls of society, much like um, Aquarius also too can be seen here. And then also to a degree Virgo as well as the hermits. But just spending a lot of time maybe in the forest, in the woods, in the mountains, maybe like beneath the surface in some places, or just even abandoned places or places where you're not gonna find like a lot of people, back of the woods, kind of places where this particular energy definitely could have, just been out. And maybe a lot of places where they were very dark places, so they didn't really get a lot of light in and stuff, or didn't really care for a lot of light. I even, because, Scorpio rules the blood as well. I mean, vampires is coming up for me, but I think there's more to the story than just like, this particular ancestry, but a lot of things that have to deal with the blood. This could have been doctors, surgeons. These are people who maybe even dabbled into blood rituals, or people who were a part of cults, or organized, just some organized situations that could have kind of had them dabble into some, like I said, hidden and unseen things here. Black markets is another thing that came up for me with this particular energy here, like back of the market, things like that, that you couldn't find on the shelves. Sexual energies could have been used to wield power over others. Scorpio moon. The pool was there, the charm was there, and you could have been able to get a lot of things that you wanted, but then also because we know that a lot of times it gives the Rumpelstiltskin effect to certain things, of being careful what you wish for. So you could have had ancestries who maybe they made a deal, they made some deals with some people, Papa Legua, for example. And some of these things could have definitely backfired or cursed this family ancestry with some things. And so maybe you come into this lifetime having to undo, if that's the path that you want to be on, maybe having to come to undo some things down along the line in the family lineage and things. Betrayal and manipulation could have definitely went down, especially with somebody, especially because this is the moon energy, so somebody close, whether that was like particularly like a mother matriarch kind of thing. Like there could have been somebody in the family lineage who definitely could have experienced some type of like backstab, betrayal. I'm seeing the vision that I'm getting right now is like, especially because I said it has to do with sexual energy. I'm getting a vision of a child who might have been traded for money. I'm not gonna go too deep into what that looks like or what that might have been, but I'm just seeing like a past, or just maybe like an ancestry where, a child could have been traded for money, or just abuse in some way, shape, or form could have definitely been here. So it makes it hard for trusting other people with your, especially like your physical body, but just also your just emotional states as well. It just might be very, very hard for you to open up. And even to get into self-sabotaging behaviors with other people, because sometimes it can just be too much. You don't know, you don't have or don't feel like you have an outlet to really express and things like that specifically. So this ancestry could have been very tumultuous in a lot of ways, but a lot of ways too to try to find this personal power here. Definitely, for sure. And just like I said, just with your ancestry too, you just want to be careful about what you're spelling to people, or what you might be casting over to yourself and casting over to people, because it quickly definitely can manifest and will manifest if not used in the best way. I'll just say that. Now, when it comes to the relationship with the mother with Scorpio moon here, I know I be moving in all my videos, y'all. I be so, like, legs be so uncomfortable. I can't do it. Like, I need to be comfortable. So there could be definitely a deep bond with the mother in a karmic way here with Scorpio moon, like I said, but there also can be a sense of feeling this sense of betrayal with the mother here too, in some way, shape, or form, whether emotionally she wasn't readily available to you when you needed her to be. Maybe she went through some type of physical abuse within her relationships or something like that, and maybe that trickled down to you also being in the middle of it, or or just her relationship towards you could have been, like, there just could have been some behind the scenes stuff happening there, and maybe she just wasn't really readily able to fully embrace. Or like I said, it doesn't always have to be doom and gloom. You definitely want to see what's aspecting your moon here in this energy with the mother. But there definitely could have been an energy of just like, I would say, just physically and emotionally, just a lot of attachments here. Yeah. Just cause a lot of turmoil. There could have been just a lot of turmoil in your life, and might have been just kind of like a ticking time, just like at any second. It could have been very explosive for you. It could have been very explosive for the household and things like that. And so this is something that you've carried with you. Um, or you could have even had a mother that either died at a young age, or maybe the mother maybe gave you up for adoption in some way, shape, or form, and maybe you had to stay with other family members, or maybe you even had to stay in like some type of like orphanage or something like that. So like you could have been even belonged to or just been inside a whole completely different family, so you never really got to know your true lineage and things like that. So connecting back to your ancestry could have been something that could have been severed and cut, because Scorpio definitely deals with cuts and severings of things. She also could have been involved in some hidden activities and things like that. And also could have struggled with escapism too, just struggling with trying to find like footing in where exactly mentally and emotionally they were, and having to kind of like really see that in full. Like I said, it could have been in some type of like illegal activity, sex work, occult, or just involved in some type of like doctors, surgeons, anything, counseling as well too is something I could see here. Military, any type of service that has to do with the people in terms of like protecting the community and stuff like that, she could have been involved in as well. Or just anything that has to do with the brain, anything that has to do with maybe she was a teacher or something like that, that could have kind of came into play. Yeah. And also too, she could have struggled with a lot of depression, just being in very bouts, or maybe just having bouts of dark spaces. So maybe she had to take care of a lot of things in the house, and so, but it sent her, because emotionally there was just a lot going on underneath the surface, that it just kind of maybe sprawled or sent her into like you know, just a lot when it came to like the emotional things. And maybe she even kept so much hidden from you and things like that. So as you got older, maybe like different secrets about certain things started coming out, and it just was a lot. It was just very emotionally intense. It could have been very emotionally intense in the household, you know. Yeah. And even to a certain degree, specifically depending on what this moon is aspecting, but just very explosive as well in this way. So I would definitely say when it comes to alchemizing this particular energy with Scorpio moon, I would definitely say just to, I wouldn't even say just to, but really getting a grasp of your powerful emotions, because they're powerful. The things that you've been through, even though a lot of things might have been very traumatic, the things that you've seen, the things that you've kept secret or held on to have been very traumatic, but getting the support that you need to like really overcome and alchemize the energy that you have within you, because it's like I said, it's very powerful, but it can also be a detriment to yourself as well, because you can become self-destructive to not only other people around you but to yourself, and in turn other people, because of the energy that you've carried for so long, and not just through this particular lifetime, but also in previous lifetimes and things like that that you've lived. So I would just definitely say just getting very facing your difficult emotions, facing the difficult traumatic events that have happened in the particular lifetime and previous incarnations and lifetimes, if you will, of the things that you have been through, and trying to get a better, clearer sense of what that looks like for you, and working through those powerful emotions that come with the attachments of those things that have happened. And that's what I have for Scorpio moon. Like I said, I know it's not the easiest thing being a Scorpio moon, but once you actually move through those lessons, and move through the things and understand those things for what they are and what they have been to your life, you'll notice that you could be not only a support and powerful um energy for yourself, but also people around you. So that's what I have for Scorpio moon. We're definitely, like I said, next week moving into the last of the four, which is Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So you already know what it is. It's a rainy storm checking in, checking out without a doubt. I'll see y'all later. Deuces. Wait, deuces for real? Deuces.